Chapter 1. The Billionaire and his son, Ethan Carter, was a billionaire known for his ruthless business acumen. As the CEO of Carter Enterprises, he had built a financial empire from the ground up. But despite all his wealth, his greatest treasure was his 10-year-old son, Oliver, born with cerebral palsy. Oliver's condition limited his mobility and required constant care. Ethan had no trouble hiring the doctors, therapists, and caregivers, but finding someone who treated Oliver with genuine kindness rather than obligation, that was far more difficult. One chilly autumn afternoon, Oliver made an unusual request. "Dad, can we go somewhere cozy?" Ethan, who usually dined at the finest restaurants, hesitated. But one look at his son's hopeful eyes was enough to change his mind. So for the first time in years, the billionaire stepped into a small family-owned diner on the outskirts of the city, without realizing his life was about to change forever. Chapter 2. The Waitress with a Heart of Gold. Inside the diner, a young waitress named Sophie Lane greeted them with a warm smile. In her midst, with kind brown eyes and an aura of quiet strength, Sophie was no stranger to hardship. She was working double shifts to support her mother, who had recently been diagnosed with cancer. Money was tight, but Sophie never let her struggles diminish her kindness. As she approached their table, she noticed Oliver struggling with his fork. His small hands trembled as he tried to pick up a piece of pancake, only for it to fall back onto the plate. Ethan, engrossed in a business call, hadn't noticed his son's frustration. Sophie hesitated for a moment before kneeling beside Oliver and softly whispering, "Would you like some help?" Oliver's blue eyes lit up with gratitude. "Yes, please," with patience and care. Sophie cut his pancakes into bite-sized pieces, feeding him gently while making him giggle with light-hearted jokes. What she didn't realize was that Ethan had ended his call and was watching everything unfold in silence. Chapter 3. A Silent Observer. Ethan was used to seeing people treat Oliver with either pity or discomfort. But Sophie, she was different. She treated his son like a friend, like any other little boy, not like a child defined by his disability. For the first time in a long time, Ethan saw Oliver genuinely happy. "Do you like her?" he asked later. Oliver grinned. "She's nice, Dad. Really nice." Ethan nodded thoughtfully. He was a man who believed in rewarding kindness, and Sophie had just shown him something money could never buy. Chapter 4. A Life of Struggles. That evening, Sophie returned home exhausted. She lived in a tiny apartment with her mother, Linda, who lay on the couch, too weak to move. "How was work, sweetheart?" Linda asked. Sophie forced a smile. It was okay. Just another long shift. She didn't mention the growing pile of medical bills, or how she had skipped meals to make sure her mother had enough for her treatments. There was no time for dreams. Her only priority was survival. Chapter 5. The Invitation. The next morning, as Sophie was about to start her shift, her manager rushed over. "Sophie, there's someone here to see you." Confused, she stepped outside, only to find Ethan Carter waiting near the entrance. Her stomach tightened. "Mr. Carter," she asked nervously. Ethan gave her a small smile. "I wanted to thank you for how you treated Oliver yesterday. Would you join us for dinner tonight?" Sophie hesitated. "I appreciate the offer, but I have another shift after this." Ethan nodded. "What if I pay you triple what you'd make in that shift?" Her breath caught. That kind of money could cover her mother's medications for a month. After a long pause, she nodded. "All right." Chapter 6. An Unforgettable Evening. That night, Sophie arrived at Ethan's estate feeling completely out of place in her thrift store dress. But when she stepped inside, Oliver beamed with excitement. "Sophie, you came!" Throughout dinner, Sophie! And Oliver chatted like old friends, their laughter filling the room. Ethan watched in silence, realizing something profound. This was the first time he had ever seen his son connect so effortlessly with someone outside their family. And by the end of the evening, he had made a life-changing decision. Chapter 7. A proposal that changes everything. After dinner, Ethan turned to Sophie. "Sophie," he said, his voice serious, "I know you're struggling. I want to help." She shook her head. "I don't need charity, Mr. Carter." Ethan smiled. "Not charity, a job. I want to hire you as Oliver's personal caregiver. You'd live here, you'd have a generous salary, and all your mother's medical bills would be covered." Sophie's eyes welled with tears. "Why would you do that for me?" Ethan's gaze softened. "Because you treated my son with kindness when no one else did." Chapter 8. A new beginning. Sophie accepted the job, and life changed overnight. She and Oliver became inseparable, and her mother received the best medical care money could buy. Over time, Ethan found himself drawn to Sophie, not just for how she cared for Oliver, but for the warmth and light she brought into their home. And one day, as they stood in the garden, watching Oliver play, Ethan gently took her hand. "I don't know how I ever lived without you in our lives." Sophie smiled, squeezing his hand. "Some things are meant to be." Epilogue, love, family, and second chances. Years later, Sophie and Ethan stood together at their wedding, tears in their eyes, as Oliver, now a young man, gave a heartfelt speech. "My dad was a billionaire," Oliver said, smiling at Sophie, "but she made us rich in ways money never could." And in that moment, surrounded by love, laughter, and the family they had built together, Ethan Carter finally realized true wealth was never in his empire. It was in the people who made life worth living. This was Whisper Wire, where silence isn't weakness, it's the ultimate revenge. If this story stayed with you, subscribe and join the journey, because tomorrow's whisper might just become the story of your life. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe my channel. We're grateful for each and every one of you. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you in the comments.